Okay, this question is a trig question, and it says a cliff is 130 meters high. From the top of the cliff, the angles of depression of two boats, both due east and level with each other, are 14 degrees and 21 degrees respectively. Calculate the distance between two boats. I'm going to draw on this original diagram here first, just to show you what's going on. So you've got the first boat, and it is at an angle of depression of 14 degrees. So 14 degrees, an angle of depression 14 degrees means here. So that would take me to my first boat. The next boat, it would be, so 14 degrees would be there, and then that would be 21 degrees here. So that's what the angle of depression is. So people get the angle of depression in the wrong place. So if you imagine, for an angle of depression, if you're up here, that is where your eyeball is. Okay, that's your eyeball. And so that's you looking horizontally. If something is down here, the angle of depression is the angle that you move down through from the horizontal to see what you're looking down on. Okay, whereas the angle of elevation, so there's another eyeball. The angle of elevation, if there's you looking horizontally, something's up here, the angle of elevation is the angle that you look up through. So angle of depression, you look down to it, and angle of elevation, you look up to it. Okay, we're going to redraw this diagram. I'm going to look at this again, and I'm going to draw two right angle triangles. It's definitely the easiest way of doing it. So here, from the top of the cliff, there's my cliff, and it was 130 meters high. And there is what I want to find is a horizontal distance, call that x. And this wee angle in here was 14 degrees. So that's 14 degrees in here. And then for the other one, 130 meters again. The angle of depression for it was a bit steeper. It was 21 degrees, and I'll call that y. And that's what we need to find. We need to find x and y. Okay, now by your parallel lines and your z angles, if you've got two parallel lines and you've got z angles, if this angle in here was, we'll call it a, then this angle in here is also going to be a. So there your old z angles or alternate angles, we'll give them our proper name. And that's the situation we're in here. So we can label this thing, I'm going to change the pen here, it's a bit blurry. That is 14 degrees in here. Likewise over here, this is going to be 21 degrees. So now we can look at this triangle, and it's just a little trig question. So I've got my relative to my angle of 14 degrees, I've got my opposite side, and I've got my adjacent. So using the old SOHCAHTOA, we've got my opposite and adjacent, so it's going to be a tan question. So tan theta, your angle, is equal to opposite over adjacent. So in this case, tan of 14 equals 130 over x, multiply across by your x. X times tan of 14 is equal to 130. X then equals 130 divided by tan of 14. I'm not even going to bother working that out just yet. We're going to have that at the answer at the very end. Okay, same idea over here. If we look at this one, again, you've got your opposite side, you've got your adjacent. You're going to say then tan of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tan of 21 in this case is equal to 130 over y, which means y times tan of 21 is equal to 130. Y then is equal to 130 divided by tan of 21. And you've got your two things. Which one's going to be the bigger? Which one's going to be bigger? Sorry, this one is going to be the longer one. This one here. So I'm going to do this one, the one in yellow, minus the one in blue. Apologies if you're colorblind. So we've got that. So you just say your distance between them is equal to 130 over tan of 14 minus 130 over tan of 21. And fire that into your calculator. Hopefully my calculator's in the right mode. I have no glasses on. I can't even see this anymore. Right, great. 130 divided by tan of 14. Hoping the calculator is in degrees mode and not a different mode. And then 130 over tan of 21. Fire that into your calculator. And I have got 182.7399. I have no idea what degree of accuracy it said. I don't know. No idea. Right, I'm going to go to 2DPs just in case. So 182 0.74 meters, and that was the 2 DPs. And that could be right because remember it was a 130 cliff, a meter cliff, so that sort of makes sense. Okay, done.